Hi, I'm Abby Fammartino. We're here at Abby's table, and today we are going to be making a new potato gnocchi with a sorrel and hazelnut pesto. So let's get started. Okay, so we weighed out 1.5 pounds of new potatoes, and these were roasted for 1 hour on a lightly oiled sheet pan. And at this point, they're cool enough just for me to touch them. They're still warm. Okay, so we want the steam to release so that we don't have to add as much flour. It'll make for a lighter gnocchi. I'm just kind of squeezing it out a little bit. The skin is going to come off. And we're going to end up pushing the potato through a ricer. If you don't have a ricer at home, you are more than welcome to just do it by hand. It definitely works. You can just mash it with a couple forks or with a potato masher. And the end product may have a little bit more of a rustic feel, but it's still going to be really delicious. So I'm going to put the potato, now peeled, into this fancy ricer. Now everything's going to come together pretty quickly. So we're going to add in a couple pinches of salt, a chef's pinch. We're going to add in a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, or you can use arrowroot. We're going to add in some melted coconut oil in place of egg. So you can do this recipe and add 1 egg and 1 tablespoon of melted coconut oil, or you can do 4 tablespoons. And I'm going to add in half of the amount of flour to start, just to see if it doesn't need everything. So you can always temper in your flour. If the potatoes are really fresh, they may not need, if they release a lot of steam, they may not need as much. We are ready to roll this out. So at this time you want to have your pot of water boiling, or ready to boil. So I'm going to add salt to a big pot like you're making pasta. And then now we're going to just roll this out. So this is sort of like going back to kindergarten. You're going to make little logs. You're going to roll out to whatever size gnocchi you want. I like to do it about a 1/2 inch diameter. Okay, so now we're going to cut them into like 1 inch little pieces. You can do this just with like a butter knife if you want to. Okay, with the back of a fork, you're going to just roll either on one side or on both sides. Then you can kind of pinch in the sides. Okay, these are finished, and we're going to just walk over to the stove and go ahead and drop them in. If you do have a pot this large at home, after the first, like say 8, you can add more in at a time. You can tell when they're ready, when they are going to float up at the top. So if it's a rolling boil, they're going to float and surface, and then they're going to kind of move again. But it'll probably take about 2 to 3 minutes. At this point, you can mix it with whatever sauce or pesto that you want. We had made a delicious sorrel and hazelnut pesto. This has sorrel and parsley, hazelnuts, fresh lemon juice, garlic, olive oil, salt, and a little nutritional yeast, placed with Parmesan. So this will be nice and even. It's well coated. The grooves on there are going to help the sauce stick. So I'm just going to plate it up. And we can add a little of the mini sorrel. This is a little micro red sorrel. Just a little garnish.